artistic director of Chicago's Porchlight Music Theater. Opening at the Liberty Theater November 13th, 1922, Little Nellie Kellie, with book, music, lyrics, direction, and produced by George M. Cohan, had long runs on Broadway, in the West End of London, and on tours. In fact, it was the longest-running show up to that time for the patriotic showman. The story of Nellie Kellie, the daughter of a New York City Irish-American police officer who takes a job in De Vere's department store. There she is seen and admired by the young millionaire and man about town Jack Lloyd. However, she's already loved by Jerry Conroy, a laborer who, like her, is Irish. While the two suitors vie for her attention, a society party and some stolen jewels figure into a story that is packed with song and a requisite George M. Cohan happy ending. Cohan began his career as a child, performing with his parents and sister in a vaudeville act known as The Four Cohans. Beginning with Little Johnny Jones in 1904, he wrote, composed, produced, and appeared in more than 36 Broadway musicals. He wrote more than 50 shows and published over 300 songs during his lifetime, including the standards Over There, Give My Regards to Broadway, The Yankee Doodle Boy, and You're a Grand Old Flag. As a composer, he was one of the early members of the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers, also known as ASCAP. He displayed remarkable theatrical longevity, appearing in films until the 1930s and continuing to perform as a headline artist until 1940. In 1959, at the behest of lyricist Oscar Hammerstein II, a $100,000 bronze statue of Cohan was dedicated in Times Square at Broadway and 46th Street in Manhattan. The 8-foot bronze remains the only statue of an actor on Broadway. The New York critics considered Little Nellie Kellie to be an old-fashioned and sentimental Edwardian musical comedy, which was out of place in 1922, but despite this, it proved a huge success. The reviews in London boasted, quote, "For months all New York has been drawn to see, to listen to, and to applaud Little Nellie Kellie, and London is going to follow its example for an even longer period," unquote. Here on the March 13th, 1950 episode of the Railroad Hour are Jane Powell and Gordon MacRae in Little Nellie Kellie.
Showmen. It's George M. Cohan Week on Showtime, for the great song and dance man wrote the music, the words, and the story for our current production. It's Pretty Nellie Kellie starring Gordon MacRae and Jane Powell. Our choir is under the direction of Norman Luboff, the music arranged and conducted by Carmen Dragon. Here now is the first act of Pretty Nellie Kellie.
There's a tiny voice I hear down deep in my heart. There's a song so soft and dear down deep in my heart.
I'll try to get your Irish up as the Bronx Romeo, Jerry Conroy. And Janie Powell is looking sharp as a shamrock for the title role of Little Nellie Kellie.
Hey, where's Nellie?
We want to see Nellie Kellie.
Where's Auntie Nellie?
Officer Kelly, is your daughter home?
Oh, hello there, Jerry, me boy. Nellie, the boys are here for you again.
How many, Father?
The usual number, 100 or so. Jerry Conroy in the lead.
Ask them to sing a song till I'm ready.
Okay, Nellie. Come on, fellas.
It's the same old song they sing. I love you. The boys are all mad about Nellie, the daughter of Officer Kelly. And it's all day long they bring flowers all dripping with dew. And they join in the chorus of Nellie Kellie, I love you. Wholesome and plain, right as the rain, Nellie's the one they are all for. Hundreds of beaux each fellow knows. All of the others, she treats them like brothers. The rich and the poor, each one is sure he is the fellow she'll fall for. Nobody's ever guessed, and she's never confessed if there's any particular boy. It's the same old song they sing. I love you. The boys are all mad about Nellie, the daughter of Officer Kelly. And it's all day long they bring flowers all dripping with dew. And they join in the chorus of Nellie Kellie, I love you.
Here she comes.
Here comes Nellie now.
Hiya, Nellie.
Hello, boys. Hello, Jerry.
Nellie, you're all dressed up.
Well, when you work at a dress shop, you've got to look your best.
Let's go, Nellie. I've got a boat reserved down at Central Park. I thought we'd go out in the lake in the moonlight.
Sure, and what would you do with my Nellie out on the lake in Central Park in the moonlight?
Oh, I'd think of something. Think of something.
Oh, Jerry. Jerry, I'm sorry, but I've got some bad news for you. I'm going to have to work tonight.
Working at the dress shop on Monday night?
Well, Mr. DeVere called up and said it was something urgent. Gee, I'm awfully sorry.
Well, it's just that so many of the fellas want to take you out, and when my turn comes, I hate to be disappointed.
Oh, but I go out with you more than the rest.
Yes, but I'm in love with you, Nellie. Can't you choose out one of us from the gang? Me, for instance?
Oh, but that wouldn't be fair to the rest. After all, you're all my boys. Every one of you, you're all my boys. Wonderful boys. Dozens and dozens, a regular throng. Simply besiege me and follow along. Because you're all my boys. It's the fun of them that makes them such wonderful boys. They come in groups and troops wherever I talk. Uptown, downtown, right on the spot. I must confess, I guess I worship the Lord because they're all my wonderful boys.
All your boys, every one of us, we're all your boys.
Wonderful boys, dozens and dozens of regular throng. You simply besiege me and follow along.
Because we're all your boys.
It's the fun of them that makes them such wonderful toys. From the east side, west side, all around the town, they come in groups and troops wherever I trot. Uptown, downtown, right on the spot. I must confess, I guess I worship the Lord. Yes, every other son of you.
You know we love you too. All you wonderful boys.
Ah, gee, Nellie.
I'm sorry I have to work tonight, Jerry.
Can I drop into the dress shop to see you later on?
Why, Jerry Conroy, I didn't know you were interested in ladies' dresses.
Only when Nellie Kellie's inside them.
Hurry, Nellie, hurry.
Why, what's the matter, Mr. DeVere? Where are we going?
To a party at Mr. Lloyd's house.
But I don't understand.
Mr. Lloyd is a millionaire, Nellie, and he's my best customer. If he wants all the girls from DeVere's to come to his mansion for a party, who is DeVere to say no?
Well, little Nellie Kellie is saying no.
Now, please, Nellie, Mr. Lloyd's a very nice young man. And he has such a pretty checkbook.
But he's mixing business with pleasure. and-
Who says you have to have a good time? Be miserable. Let's go, Nellie.
I'm so glad to see you.
Oh, it was very kind of you to invite all of us here, Mr. Lloyd.
May I make a confession? I asked all of the girls from De Beers to come here only so that I could invite you.
Oh, Mr. Lloyd.
Now, ever since I first saw you modeling dresses in De Beers' shop, I've been in love with you.
Well, I'm very flattered, Mr. Lloyd, but...
There's nothing I wouldn't do for you, Nellie Kellie.
Hey, open the door. Open the door, I say. Open up.
Well, what do you want?
I'm looking for my girl.
Jerry, what's the matter?
Are you all right, Nellie?
Well, of course I'm all right.
Hey, what's the idea of breaking into my party?
Well, I dropped by the dress shop, Nellie, and it was all dark. Then I saw you getting into a cab, so I followed you here.
Oh, Jerry, you shouldn't have.
I was worried about you. I thought maybe you'd do something you shouldn't.
Oh, nonsense, my boy. I brought her here myself.
All the girls from Mr. De Beers' shop are here as my guests.
Oh, that's different. I didn't understand.
In fact, before this evening is over, I hope I can persuade Miss Nellie Kellie to become Mrs. Jack Lloyd.
Oh, Mr. Lloyd, I didn't have any idea that...
Well, that's all right, Nellie. I guess I just didn't know how things were, so.
Oh, but Jerry, this is a bigger surprise to me than it is to you, believe me.
Well, I guess I know what you'll do. Golly, it's wonderful having a millionaire like Mr. Lloyd ask you to be his wife. Why, he can buy you anything you want in the world.
Oh, Jerry, you know I wouldn't marry a man just because he's rich.
Ah, but Mr. Lloyd is handsome, too, and young. I'm sure going to be lonesome without you, Nellie.
Oh, Jerry, don't talk like that.
I guess you know why I fell in love with you, don't you?
Well, not exactly, Jerry.
You remind me of my mother. My mother was a lot like you. So many little things you do. I find they bring to mind my mother. I never thought there'd be another would have that sweet appeal or could make me feel that the old fool world was real. I've got a tintype of my mother when mother was a girl like you. You look a lot alike, you two. Her hair was just as fair, her eyes to twinkle just the same as your eyes do. You remind me of my mother. That's why I love you.
I never knew you fell in love with me. I'm glad you told me the truth, dear. I'm glad you told me the truth. Was such a lovely thing to say to me. For I know the love of mother is a love that's like no other. The sweetest thought that ever could be whispered by you.
You remind me of my mother. My mother was a lot like you. So many little things you do. I find they bring to mind my mother. I never thought there'd be another would have that sweet appeal or could make me feel that the old fool was real.
Oh, Jerry, that's the sweetest thing any boy could say to any girl.
You know I mean it, Nellie. Even though you won't ever be my girl now.
The lights.
What's happened to the light?
Be calm, everybody. I'll get the lights back on in just a second.
Thank heaven.
Light again.
Dear, what happened?
My pearls.
pearls. While the lights were out, somebody stole my pearls.
Hey, where's that fellow Jerry? He must be the thief.
No, it's not true. Jerry wouldn't steal anything.
Well, then where is he? He disappeared while the lights were out.
No, I can't believe that Jerry would do such a thing. Why, just a minute ago, he was singing to me. You remind me of my mother. That's
Hi, this is Porchlight Audience Services Manager August Compton. Thank you for listening to WPMT. If you value programming like this, please consider making a donation today at porchlightmusictheater.org. We appreciate your consideration and hope you enjoy the show.
It's the same old song they sing. I love you. The boys are all mad about Nellie, the daughter of Officer Kellie, and it's all day long they bring flowers all dripping with dew, and they join in the chorus of Nellie Kellie, I love you.
We're ready now for the second act of George M. Cohan's Little Nellie Kellie, starring Gordon MacRae and his guest, Jane Powell.
Everybody thought I was the fellow who stole the pearls at Jack Lloyd's party, but I didn't know anything about it. I was feeling so discouraged about losing Nellie that I just started out the door when the lights went out and dropped in at the station house to see Officer Kellie.
That you, Jerry, me boy?
Yes, it's me, Officer Kellie.
Is Nellie with you?
No, she's not. I don't think I'll be seeing Nellie anymore from now on.
How's that now? A Conroy can't be holding a grudge against a Kellie.
No, of course not. I think the Kellies are the finest people to come out of Ireland. Don't you know that?
Sure, I know it. But it makes me proud to hear somebody else say it besides me.
Well, I'll say it any day of the week.
What's the greatest, grandest name? Kellie is the name we say. Kellie with a capital K. What's the name that's known for fame? Kellie is the name we say. Synonymous with no K. By Killarney's lakes, I swear you never were so right before. It's the grandest name that ever came from the dear old Emerald shore. The name of Kellie has ruled for many a day. There's a swing to the name and a ring to the name that commands the right o' way. O'Brien and Sullivan and Mulligan all say that any Kellie with a Kelly is more than common clay. He's a king with a capital K. The name of Kellie has ruled for many a day. There's a swing to the name and a ring to the name that commands the right o' way. O'Brien and Sullivan and Mulligan all say that any Kellie with the Kelly is more than common clay. He's a king with a capital, king with a capital, king with a capital K.
It pains me to interrupt them kindly sentiments, Jerry, me boy, but I'll have to answer me telephone. Precinct 29, Officer Kellie speaking. What? You don't say. I'll be on the spot in a moment with me boy.
What's up, Officer Kellie?
Oh, there's bad news tonight. One of them rich society women had her pearls snitched from around her neck, and I've got to find the culprit who did the snitching. You want to come along with me, Jerry, me boy?
Sure, Officer Kellie.
You can mind the siren.
Good.
Come on, boys.
We represent a regiment of wonderful able men who dare and dignity, ability, and bravery. The finest lot of men we got, the keepers of fighting peace. The town is always stirred whenever it hears the word police. of the things occurred. Police, if properly kept by bringing protection by force and fear. Here in New York, we boast of having the bravest in the land, the finest lot of men that ever have held a club in hand. Police, at the sound of the ding-dong dinging, you know the patrol is here. You know the police are
Why, is this the place, Officer Kelly? I can't go in there.
A Kelly and a Conroy can go into any mansion on this earth. Follow me.
No, I shouldn't have come.
We're glad you're here, officer. Say, that is fast service. He's already caught the criminal.
Well, congratulations.
Yes, congratulations, Officer Kelly.
Yes, congratulations, Officer Kelly. You've caught the criminal. Now, wait a minute, Kelly. You don't know what they're talking about. What criminal?
Well, this young man with you. He crashed my party, then ran off with my Aunt's pearls.
Oh, there must be some mistake. Nellie, what in blazes are you doing here?
Oh, it's a party, Dad, for all the girls from De Beers.
Officer, I demand that you arrest this young man.
Young Jerry here? Why, this boy never stole anything.
I didn't take the pearls.
Then why did you disappear when the lights went out?
Now, just a minute.
But let me...
Please, just a minute now. Let me talk with Jerry alone, and I'll find out what really happened.
Well, all right, Nellie.
Come on, Jerry. Jerry, tell me, why did you run away?
Well, Nellie, I wanted to get out of your life as fast as I could. I didn't realize you were so much in love with this millionaire.
Oh, Jerry, don't you know I couldn't love a man like Jack Lloyd?
No?
And can't you guess who I'm really in love with? There's a tiny voice I hear down deep in my heart. There's a song so soft and dear down deep in my heart. Early in the morning, into the night so drear, and you bade me warning that he is near with his beautiful, perfect melody of love down deep in my heart, cooing like a gentle dove down deep in my heart. No human angel ever excelled the art of this refrain, this lovely strain ever clinging, ever secretly ringing from the voice in my
Oh, Nellie, do you really mean you love me? Would you marry me?
Well, perhaps, if you'd ask me.
Now, just a moment, please. I still think this man is a thief.
Oh, you're wrong, Mr. Lloyd.
Then who did take the pearls?
I'll find the culprit for you. Where's De Vere?
Did somebody want me?
Search that man.
No, please, don't search me.
Why not?
Because I'm ticklish.
Come over here now.
No.
Come on.
No.
I'll tear the lips off you. Put it out there. Set the wiggle. Look. Are these the lost pearls?
Yes, all my beautiful pearls. Thank you, officer.
How did you know that Mr. De Vere was a thief?
Have you seen the prices he charges for them dresses in his stores? He's been stealing money from the women of New York for years.
Well, I think I owe you an apology, Mr. Conroy.
And I think you owe him some congratulations, too.
Oh?
I've asked Nellie to marry me, and she's accepted.
Well, that's wonderful.
Of course, I can't give her all the rich things you could buy for her.
Oh, but I'll be happy, Jerry, with whatever we have.
Oh, I can promises a cozy little home until my luck comes rolling along.
Will you have the necessary when the bills come due for the butcher and the baker and the candlestick maker?
Well, all I can promise is that I'll be on the level and that things will never go wrong. In the long nest, you remember that sweet old song. Well, all I can promise is a happy disposition and a wild desire to succeed.
Will you always pay the damage when the rent comes due? Will I always be protected, never, never neglected?
Oh, I'd like to give you everything there is to give and will as soon as I'm strong. But all I can promise is a cozy little home until our luck comes rolling along.
All you can promise is a cozy little home until your luck comes rolling along. You know you have the necessary when the bills come due for the butcher and the baker and the candlestick maker.
Oh, I'd like to give you everything there is to give and will as soon as I'm strong. But all I can promise is a cozy little home until our luck comes rolling along.
Congratulations to you, Jerry, me boy.
Yes, congratulations and best wishes, Nellie.
Oh, thank you, Jack.
Now, I should have known that only a Conroy could marry a Kelly. Say, what's going to happen to Mr. DeVere, officer?
He's going out of the dress business for a while. I think you'll find him engaged in road work for the government, wearing a striped suit.
Then I'm going to buy DeVere's shop and give it as a wedding present to little Nellie Kellie.
And I'll make the first purchase. Nellie's wedding gown.
Oh, Jerry.
It's the same old song they sing. I love you.
The boys are all mad about Nellie, the daughter of Officer Kelly, and it's all day long they bring flowers all dripping with dew, and they join in the chorus of Nellie Kelly. I love you. I love you. It's the same old song they sing. I love you. The boys are all mad about Nellie, the daughter of Officer Kelly, and it's all day long they bring flowers all dripping with dew, and they join in the chorus of Nellie Kelly. I love you.
And the Showtime curtain falls on another outstanding musical success. This week we've presented Little Nellie Kellie by America's great song and dance man, George M. Cohan. Jane Powell was heard in the title role, and Gordon McRae starred as Jerry Conroy. Our choir was under the direction of Norman Luboff, the music arranged and conducted by Carmen Dragon. Showtime is a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.
If you were somewhat confused by the opening and closing credits of this Railroad Hour episode, it's because this was an Armed Forces rebroadcast of the show for service members around the world. All commercial advertising would be removed before these broadcasts will be put on offer, and as the name of this show is that of the sponsor themselves, the Association of American Railroads, the name of the program was changed to Showtime for these presentations. In 1940, MGM presented a film adaptation of Little Nellie Kellie starring Judy Garland with George Murphy, Charles Winninger, and Douglas MacPhail. It was rumored at the time that George M. Cohan sold the rights expressly as a vehicle for Garland. The film gave 18-year-old Judy the opportunity to grow up, as she also appears in the first half of the picture as Nellie Noonan, the mother of Little Nellie Kellie. Although called, quote, a bit of blarney, unquote, the overall film was very well received. When today's star Jane Powell was 12 years old, a talent promoter helped her get selected as the Oregon Victory Girl. She began singing on Portland radio station KOIN and traveled Oregon for 2 years, singing and selling victory bonds during World War II. While vacationing in California in 1943, Powell won a talent show and signed a contract with MGM Studios in Hollywood the next day at age 14. And the rest was history. Jane Powell died of natural causes on September 16, 2021, at the age of 92. Theaters across the country need your support now, more than ever. We hope you'll consider a donation to Porchlight Music Theater today. Just go to porchlightmusictheater.org. Until next time on Classic Musicals from the Golden Age of Radio, I'm Michael Weber.